Mm. Amar, how do you look at the earnings so far in Q3? Are they above expectations, or is pretty much in line?
See, I would say as far as the earnings are concerned, many of the earnings have been above expectations. So that is a positive. But overall, we've seen some earnings being in line with expectations. But it is definitely positive with regard to what we've been seeing for quite some time. So I would say that this current quarter is also going to be important because what happens is that if there is a trend change, it would have to have sustained for at least a couple of quarters. And prior to this also, it was expected that the last couple of quarters of the current financial year would be where we could see a turnaround in terms of earnings. So that's the reason we've seen, and it's going to be more stock specific because we've seen some of the stocks in certain sectors. Like for example, you look at the PSU banking space; they've performed exceedingly well. If you look at the auto space, they've performed exceedingly well. Most of the auto stocks have done exceedingly well. Apart from if you look at, or on the other hand, you look at the IT space or you look at the pharma space, they really haven't, most of them haven't performed that much. So it's going to be more specific. And also, I would say some impact of the tariffs also. So that's going to be there.
Chakri, I wonder if you have a view on some of the, at least one of how one should look at maybe metals at this juncture. Would you try to play the trade at this point, given the kind of correction we've seen in some of the metal counters?
As both fellow panelists have mentioned, the trade has been so volatile, whether it is precious metals moving up 40%, down 40% in less than a month. While base metals, clearly they haven't moved with that kind of velocity, whether it is steel or aluminum. So there, if you look at those companies, the valuation of whether it's Tata Steel or Hindalco, they're trading at about 6-7 times EV EBITDA. But with the trade deal, etc., we'll expect to see cyclical improvement. But I'd still wait and watch. But the fundamentals for the base metal companies, Tata Steel, Hindalco, even NMDC, are looking fairly strong.
And the other one that also came out with numbers was a JM Financial. A bit of a turnaround story that's playing out. Chakri, how do you view this one?
Yeah, like you said, the numbers were kind of in line. They are going to be impacted a little bit with some of the trading volumes that may come down in the coming quarter or two. Valuations wise, it's not particularly a cheap stock. So I think I'll still wait and for the dust to settle a little bit down.
Right. Okay, wondering what's going to happen to some of the EMS plays. While off late, of course, they've been holding out well. We chatted with the Dixon management yesterday. But looking at Kaynes' performance, that's definitely, bound to take a stall back. It's been a weak Q3 by them. The results are below expectations on all counts pretty much. Amar, check in on the charts for Kaynes for us.
So if I look at Kaynes, it is more or less, I would say, trading flat in that sense. So if I look at the way it has, there was this sharp correction which has been there, but it seems to be overdone right now because the stock is trying to form a base. Because if you look at, it's corrected almost, it's more than half from its all-time highs, which was in October of 2025 last year. Currently around 3,600 odd levels. Seems to be forming a base, but the structure, if you look at the structure of the stock on the intermediate term, because that plays a major part, that really shows that it is likely to witness consolidation and there could be a retest of the recent lows. So that's very clear on the charts. But yes, it seems that the worst might be over for the stock if it's able to sustain above the recent lows, and the recent low was 3,300, 3,350. So that's going to be very important to watch out for.